Stop everything because the drama just hit a level nobody saw coming. Jim Jones, the rapper who's been walking a tightrope between his loyalty to Chrissy Lampkin and the constant outside pressures from industry peers, just did the unthinkable. Reports are flooding in that Ciara gave Jim an ultimatum: either step up and marry Chrissy once and for all, or risk losing her for good. Sounds simple, right? Wrong. Because Jim didn't just hesitate. He flat out refused. And that's when the entire house of cards came crashing down. According to insiders, Chrissy has been holding on to a massive secret. One so explosive that it could completely shift the way fans see their relationship. Maybe even destroy Jim's reputation in the process. We're talking about a revelation that's been whispered behind the scenes for years, but never spoken out loud. Until now, and here's the craziest part: Ciara allegedly knows about it. That's why she forced Jim into a corner. But instead of folding under pressure, Jim called her bluff, leaving Chrissy stunned, Ciara furious, and the internet buzzing with speculation. So, what exactly is this secret Chrissy has been hiding? And why would Jim rather risk his relationship than confront it? Stick around, because once this bomb drops, nothing in their world or ours will ever be the same to really understand the chaos that just erupted between Jim Jones, Chrissy Lampkin, and Ciara. We've got to rewind the clock and look at the long, messy, and turbulent history that got us here. Because trust me, this explosion wasn't random. It was building for years. And the cracks have always been visible to anyone paying attention. Let's start with Jim and Chrissy. For over a decade, their relationship has been a roller coaster that fans of love and hip-hop have watched unfold on screen like the most addictive soap opera. Chrissy has always been the woman who loved Jim fiercely, stood by his side through scandals, financial ups and downs, and even industry betrayals. She's been the rock, but she's also been the one demanding commitment, stability, and above all, marriage. Remember that infamous moment years ago when Chrissy got down on one knee and proposed to Jim herself? It wasn't just reality TV shock value, it was a real reflection of how desperate she was to finally secure her place as Jim's wife. The scene went viral because it shattered the traditional roles. Chrissy wasn't waiting anymore. She was done being the girlfriend and wanted the title she believed she earned. Fans were divided. Some praised her for taking control, while others felt humiliated on her behalf when Jim hesitated. But the marriage never came. Over the years, Jim has always found ways to dodge, delay, or distract from the wedding conversation. He'd buy Chrissy expensive gifts, drop lavish vacations, or promise her the world, everything except that ring on her finger in a legal ceremony. And every time, Chrissy swallowed her pride, gave him another chance, and stayed. To outsiders, it looked like love. But to insiders, it looked like Jim was stringing her along. Now add Ciara into the mix. On the surface, Ciara and Jim aren't exactly two names you'd expect in the same sentence. But industry insiders have whispered for months that Ciara, who has always been outspoken about female empowerment, family, and loyalty, had privately confronted Jim more than once about his failure to marry Chrissy. Apparently, she felt that Chrissy was giving too much of herself while Jim was holding back. And let's be real, Ciara's own marriage to Russell Wilson is always portrayed as the gold standard of love and stability in the celebrity world. To her, Jim's hesitation wasn't just about him, it was about the example being set for women everywhere. So, when Ciara allegedly gave Jim that ultimatum: marry Chrissy or walk away from her life, she wasn't just speaking as a friend. She was speaking as a woman who saw another woman being taken for granted. The only problem? Jim doesn't respond well to ultimatums. Never has. He's a man who prides himself on living by his own rules, making his own choices, and never letting anyone control him, even the woman he loves. And this is where Chrissy's secret comes into play. Because insiders are now claiming that the reason Jim refuses to bend, the reason he refuses to marry Chrissy despite all the love and years invested, is because he knows something about her past, a truth that Chrissy has fought hard to bury. Some say it's connected to finances. Others claim it's tied to old industry connections that could embarrass Jim publicly. Whatever it is. The whispers are loud enough that even Ciara reportedly caught wind of it. And think about that dynamic for a second. Ciara, the picture of perfection with her power couple marriage, calling Jim out directly, while Chrissy stands silently with a storm brewing inside her. It's the kind of scene that was always destined to end in disaster. Fans who have followed Jim and Chrissy's journey over the years know this tension too well. Every time Chrissy begged for more and Jim refused, it planted another seed of resentment. Every time Jim dodged the wedding question, Chrissy's patience thinned. And every time the public laughed at their stalled engagement, Chrissy's pride took another hit. Now, with Ciara publicly stepping into the picture and Jim refusing to back down, those years of tension have exploded all at once. The stakes are higher than ever. Jim risks losing the woman who stood by him for decades. Chrissy risks her reputation and secrets coming to light. And Ciara risks alienating herself from an entire fan base for daring to call out Jim so boldly. But as one insider put it, this was bound to happen. You can only hide the truth for so long before it demands to be heard, and that's the dangerous cliff we're standing on right now. Because if Chrissy's secret comes out the way insiders are hinting, it won't just break her relationship with Jim, it could completely redefine her public image and career. But here's the question you've got to ask yourself. Did Jim refuse Ciara's ultimatum out of pride? Or because he knows if he marries Chrissy, that secret will explode and destroy them both? The moment of truth came during what was supposed to be a private dinner among friends, a quiet night in Los Angeles where Jim, Chrissy, and Ciara ended up at the same table. According to insiders, things started lighthearted. Drinks were flowing, jokes were flying, and for a while it seemed like just another celebrity gathering. But as the night went on, Ciara's tone shifted. She leaned across the table, her voice sharp but calm, and delivered the ultimatum that would change everything. Jim, marry Chrissy, or stop wasting her time. The table fell silent. Chrissy froze, her fork halfway to her mouth, her eyes wide, as if she couldn't believe someone had finally said out loud what she'd been begging for years. But Jim, he didn't even flinch. Instead, he smirked, leaned back in his chair, and delivered the line that sent shockwaves across the industry. You don't know the half of it. Ciara, if I wanted to marry Chrissy, I would have done it by now. That was the spark that lit the fire. Witnesses claim Chrissy's face turned pale, her hands trembling under the table. She'd begged Jim not to air their dirty laundry, not to reveal the one thing she prayed would never see the light of day. But now, with Ciara pressing him and Jim's patience snapping, that dark secret was about to crawl out of the shadows. Jim's refusal wasn't just stubbornness, it was a shield. Because, as insiders leaked later that night, Jim has been holding on to knowledge that could completely destroy Chrissy's reputation. The whispers say Chrissy was involved years ago with a powerful industry figure in a financial deal gone bad, one that allegedly left Jim embarrassed, nearly bankrupt, and desperate to save face. While Chrissy has tried to move past it, the damage it left on Jim's pride has never healed. And it explains why he's refused to give her his last name, because deep down, he doesn't trust her with it. Ciara. Hearing Jim's words, reportedly slammed her glass down so hard it shattered. You're disrespecting her, Jim, she shot back. You've dragged her through humiliation long enough. Fans and the restaurant caught wind of the argument and began tweeting live updates, with hashtags like #JimVCiara and #ChrissySecret trending within minutes. But here's the twist no one saw coming. Chrissy didn't defend herself. She didn't deny the accusations. Instead, she broke down in tears and whispered, "Jim, please, don't." That silence was louder than any confession. The internet immediately exploded. Clips of Chrissy wiping her tears spread across TikTok. Twitter was flooded with conspiracy theories about her secret past. Some fans speculated she'd cheated. Others claimed it was tied to money laundering or shady business ties. A few even accused her of sabotaging Jim's career behind the scenes. And just when you thought it couldn't get more chaotic, a leaked text thread hit the blogs. Screenshots allegedly from one of Jim's close friends revealed conversations where Jim admitted, "Chrissy knows what she did. That's why I'll never marry her." It's not about love. It's about trust. The twist shook fans to the core. For years, the narrative was that Jim was afraid of commitment, that he was dragging Chrissy along while she waited endlessly for a ring. But now the story flipped. Maybe Jim wasn't the bad guy. Maybe he was the one protecting himself from a betrayal he could never forgive. The fallout was immediate. Ciara's name trended worldwide, with fans calling her a hero for standing up for Chrissy. Others dragged her for interfering in someone else's relationship. But the real drama centered on Chrissy, her silence, her tears, her unwillingness to fight back. Too many that was as good as a confession. And this is only the beginning. Because if Jim really plans to expose Chrissy's secret to the world, the next chapter in this saga won't just break the internet, it could destroy careers, friendships, and reputations in ways nobody imagined. If you thought the dinner table showdown was the peak of the drama, think again, because what came next sent the entire entertainment industry spiraling into chaos. Jim's refusal, Chrissy's tears, and Ciara's fiery intervention lit the match. But the explosion that followed was fueled by one thing: leaks. Within hours of that confrontation, the gossip blogs were flooded with screenshots, voice notes, and even alleged receipts from insiders who claimed to have direct knowledge of Chrissy's past dealings. And let me tell you, what surfaced was messier than anyone could have imagined. The first bombshell came from a notorious gossip account on Instagram, which dropped a blind item that fans instantly connected to Chrissy. The post read, "A reality star known for proposing to her rapper boyfriend years ago once borrowed a large sum of money from a major industry mogul. She promised to flip it in a business deal, but when it went south, the mogul came for blood. The boyfriend covered the debt, but he's never trusted her since." Fans didn't even need the name spelled. Out comments flooded in, with thousands of people tagging Jim, Chrissy, and even Ciara. Within minutes, hashtag Chrissyos was trending. But then came the real kicker: a leaked audio clip allegedly from Jim himself. In the recording, you can hear a man's voice, raspy, unmistakably similar to Jim, saying, "I'll always love Chrissy, but I'll never forget what she did. I had to clean up a mess that could have ruined me. Marriage? Nah, I can't give her that power over me." Boom! Social media went nuclear. Chrissy, once admired as the strong ride-or-die partner who stuck by Jim through thick and thin, was suddenly painted as the villain. Memes poured in. Fans dug up old Love and Hip Hop clips where Chrissy seemed defensive about money or business. "We should have known," one fan tweeted. Another wrote, "So Chrissy really risked Jim's whole bag, and now we know why he never said 'I do.'" And Ciara, she wasn't backing down either. Hours after the confrontation, she posted a cryptic message on her Instagram story: "Real love is built on truth, not secrets. Don't let the world gaslight you into thinking otherwise." She didn't mention names, but everyone knew exactly who she was talking about. The Shade Room reposted it instantly, sparking another wave of debates in the comments section. But here's where the story took an even wilder turn. A celebrity blogger dropped what they claimed was a direct message from an industry insider, someone close to the mogul. Chrissy allegedly wronged. The DM claimed Chrissy had promised to launch a fashion line with backing from this mogul, took the money, but when the line flopped, the mogul demanded repayment. Instead of paying up, Chrissy allegedly begged Jim to step in, and he covered the six-figure debt. According to the leak, Jim never got over that humiliation. This revelation flipped the narrative completely. Suddenly, Jim wasn't the cold-hearted man stringing Chrissy along. He was the scorned lover protecting himself from a woman who had betrayed his trust, and fans weren't the only ones reacting. Other celebrities started chiming in too. Tamar Braxton tweeted, "Whoo, protect your money and your peace. Chili, 50 cent. Never one to miss a chance to troll." Posted a meme of Jim dodging a wedding aisle with the caption, "Now y'all see why my boy never signed those papers." even Yandy Smith, who has had her own history of feuds with Chrissy. Allegedly liked a shady comment that read, "Chrissy played herself, but just when it seemed like Chrissy couldn't take any more hits." The second shocking twist came crashing down. Late that night, an anonymous Twitter account dropped a thread claiming that Chrissy's secret wasn't just about money, it was about loyalty. The thread alleged that during one of her rough patches with Jim years ago, Chrissy had briefly entertained another relationship with someone in the industry. The account claimed that Jim found out, forgave her publicly, but privately vowed never to let her hold the title of his wife. The thread went viral in minutes. Fans dug up old photos, grainy club shots, and out-of-context interviews to piece the story together. By morning, #ChrissyCheated was trending worldwide. Chrissy, for her part, stayed silent. No posts, no statements, nothing. But silence in this moment was deafening. Fans interpreted it as guilt. Insiders whispered that Chrissy was in meltdown mode, crying nonstop and begging Jim to shut down the rumors. But Jim, he allegedly told friends, "I didn't start this. I'm just done covering for her." The escalation was complete. Ciara had tried to defend Chrissy, but in doing so, she triggered a chain reaction that ripped the lid off secrets Chrissy had fought to keep buried for years. Now, with receipts, leaked audios, and wild fan theories dominating every corner of the internet, Chrissy's carefully built image as Jim's loyal partner was collapsing in real time. And here's the cliffhanger. Insiders say Jim isn't done. One source close to him told a major blog, if they keep pushing him, he's ready to go public with everything. Names, dates, receipts. He's tired of looking like the bad guy. If that happens, Chrissy's entire world could crumble in Ciara's ultimatum. Might go down in history as the spark that exposed one of hip-hop's longest-running secrets. If the dinner confrontation was the spark, and the leaks were the gasoline, then the public reaction was the wildfire that burned out of control. Social media didn't just explode, imploded. Fans, celebrities, and even media outlets were tearing each other apart over Jim, Chrissy, and Ciara. Twitter timelines turned into battlegrounds. On one side, you had fans defending Chrissy, claiming she had sacrificed too much over the years to be dragged like this. One viral tweet read, "Chrissy built Jim up when no one else cared. Now, y'all want to crucify her over some old mistakes? Miss me with that nonsense." On the other side, the knives were out. A brutal thread racked up 50,000 likes. Chrissy begged this man for marriage, proposed to him, humiliated herself on national TV. And now we know why he never said yes. Jim knew the truth the whole time. Case closed. TikTok added fuel to the fire. Creators stitched together old love and hip-hop clips, overlaying them with dramatic music and captions like the receipts were always there and Chrissy played herself. One clip showing Chrissy's infamous proposal to Jim was slowed down, zoomed in on his hesitant expression, and captioned, "He knew back then." That video alone got over 5 million views in 24 hours. Instagram Lives turned into roundtables. Influencers hosted heated debates, with thousands tuning in live. Some argued Ciara overstepped by interfering in someone else's relationship. Others praised her for holding Jim accountable. One influencer said it best, "Ciara is living the dream with Russell." And maybe she thought she could sprinkle some of that fairy tale energy on Jim and Chrissy. But instead, she blew the whole house down. But the real shock came from the industry reactions. Tamar Braxton's shady comment was just the beginning. Rapper Menno, who has been friends with Jim for years, allegedly went live and said, "Jim ain't lying. He'd been carrying weight for a long time." People don't know half the story. That single line set fans buzzing, because it seemed to confirm that Chrissy's secret wasn't just gossip, it was real. And then came the heaviest blow. 50 Cent, never one to hold his tongue, doubled down. He posted another meme, this time with a mock wedding cake toppler, where the groom was running away from the bride with the caption, "Jimmy was never built for that marriage life." "Y'all should have listened to me." The post racked up hundreds of thousands of likes, with fans flooding the comments with laughing emojis, fire emojis, and memes of their own. Even Yandy Smith, who famously clashed with Chrissy on Love and Hip Hop, liked multiple shady comments under the Shade Room's post. One fan pointed out, "Yandy liking shady comments tells you everything. These women been new. Blogs were eating it up." Headlines like Chrissy Lampkin's secret past finally catches up to her, and Jim Jones vindicated. Why he refuses to marry Chrissy dominated the feeds. Think pieces flooded Medium and YouTube, with analysts breaking down how this exposed not just a relationship, but a pattern of toxic dynamics in hip-hop couples. And then came the most unexpected reaction of all. Fans started turning on Ciara. At first, she was praised as a hero, but as the leaks got uglier, people began accusing her of lighting the fuse. Comments poured in. "Ciara stirred the pot, then left Chrissy to burn." Another viral post read, "Ciara needs to stay in her perfect marriage and stop meddling in other people's mess." Ciara responded indirectly again, posting a glamorous picture with the caption, "I don't regret speaking my truth." The comment section instantly turned into chaos, half of her followers praising her bravery, the other half accusing her of clout-chasing. But here's where things get even wilder. A new divide began to form, not just between fans, but between men and women. Male rappers and fans were overwhelmingly siding with Jim, praising him for protecting himself. Meanwhile, female fans and celebrities were split, some defending Chrissy's years of loyalty, others admitting that if the rumors were true, Jim had every right to keep his distance. Even radio shows got involved. Charlemagne the God on The Breakfast Club weighed in, saying, "Jim been dodging this marriage for a reason. It ain't always about fear of commitment. It's about protecting yourself from a woman who might have betrayed you." If these rumors are true, Chrissy got some explaining to do. Angela Yee, on the other hand, defended Chrissy. "We don't know what really happened. What we do know is she held him down for years. That counts for something." And all of this leads to the most dangerous question of all. If Jim decides to go public with receipts, how many other celebrities will get dragged into this mess? Insiders are whispering that Chrissy's secret isn't just about money or loyalty. It's tied to people still active in the industry. If those names get dropped, this won't just be Jim versus Chrissy. It'll be the scandal of the decade by the end of the week. Hashtags like #Team Jim, #Team Chrissy, and #CIA RA Stay Out were trending simultaneously. Fans were split down the middle, celebrities were taking sides, and Chrissy herself, still silent. Her silence is what's keeping the fire alive, because until she speaks, the public will keep speculating, and Jim will keep hinting at dropping more bombs. And that silence sets the stage perfectly for what's coming next. Because insiders say Jim has something far more explosive up his sleeves, something that could destroy not just Chrissy's reputation, but her entire future. Just when the dust seemed like it might settle, Jim Jones dropped the kind of move that proves this saga is far from over. According to multiple insider leaks, Jim was seen leaving a private studio session with a folder clutched under his arm. The whispers. That folder contained receipts, bank records, text threads, and even contracts that allegedly proved Chrissy's secret dealings were real, not just rumor. And here's the kicker. Jim has been threatening to go public. One insider claimed he's tired of being painted like the bad guy. Jim's saying if Chrissy and her camp keep letting people talk, he's gonna spill everything himself. He's sitting on a bomb, and if it goes off, a lot more people than Chrissy are gonna get burned. That's right, this isn't just about Chrissy anymore. Sources suggest her alleged financial scandal ties into names that are still active in the industry today. Big names. If Jim releases those receipts, it won't just end Chrissy's reputation. It could topple careers, ruin partnerships, and drag Ciara deeper into a storm she never wanted. And here's the final shocking twist. Days after Jim was spotted with that folder, a mysterious email leak hit several gossip blogs. The email, allegedly from an anonymous source close to Jim, contained a chilling line. This is just the beginning. The truth will be televised. Attached to the email was a blurred screenshot that appeared to show Chrissy's name next to a payment of $250,000. No context. No explanation, just enough to drive the internet into a frenzy. Chrissy, still silent, has only fueled the fire. Fans are demanding answers. Ciara, now caught in the crossfire, is reportedly backing away quietly, realizing she may have lit a fuse she can't control. And Jim? He's never looked more ready to finally flip the script. So what happens next? Does Jim actually release the receipts and detonate a scandal that could reshape the entire hip-hop world? Or will Chrissy find a way to silence him before he burns them both? One thing is certain, the next move will be the deadliest, and when it happens, this drama won't just shake their world. It'll shake the entire culture, because if Jim Jones is serious about airing everything, then the biggest storm of his career and Chrissy Z's still to come. And there you have it, the shocking chain of events that has the entire internet gasping for air. From Ciara's bold ultimatum to Jim's cold refusal, to Chrissy's heartbreaking silence and the flood of leaks that followed. This isn't just a love and hip-hop scandal anymore. This is a cultural earthquake. But here's the question I need to ask you. Do you think Jim Jones is right for protecting himself? Or do you believe Chrissy deserves the marriage after all the years she stood by his side? Was Ciara a hero for finally saying what everyone was too scared to say? Or did she stir up a storm she had no business stepping into? And most importantly, if Jim really drops those receipts, do you think Chrissy's entire reputation will shatter? Or will fans rally around her and expose Jim as the one hiding skeletons of his own? I want to hear from you right here, right now. Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this is bigger than just one couple. This is about trust, betrayal, loyalty, and the price of secrets in the spotlight. And let's be honest, half of you are on hashtag Team Jim. Half of you are on hashtag Team Chrissy, and some of you are ready to cancel Ciara for good. Let's see where you stand. But don't forget, this story is far from over. Jim is holding on to evidence. Chrissy's silence is only raising more suspicion. And Ciara's cryptic posts are fanning the flames. The next chapter is already loading. And trust me, you won't want to miss it. So smash that like button if you're as shook as I am. Subscribe so you never miss a single twist. And turn on your notifications, because when the next bomb drops, you'll want to be the first to know. The drama isn't ending, it's just beginning.